Hey y'all, I'm going to show you today, this says welcome home. We have so many different welcomes you can do on the porch leaners. There's all kinds of stuff. This is a full-size welcome home. And I'm going to put it on a surface that I got from Walmart, I think. And so you would take it out of the sleeve it comes in. You're going to peel the backing off of it, and you're going to put it down with the shiny side up because you are going to reuse the backing. And I'm going to go ahead and put you down so you can see what you're seeing. See what I'm doing? I hope. Okay. All right, so I'm going to just peel the backing off. Sometimes that's easier said than done. And I'm not a good eyeballer on putting this stuff on. So I usually do some marking. I use chalk typically so that I can have some control in getting it back out. So there's about the same space top and bottom on this piece of wood that it fit out pretty well. But I needed to mark on the edges. So this time it went on the actual stencil as opposed to the surface. Okay. All right, when you're working with a stencil this size, sometimes it does get a little tricky to get it where you want it to go and get it to stay initially. All right, so now I've got it on, and I'm just gonna rub it in. You can use the back of your squeegee. You don't want to be really aggressive, but you want to have the synthetic meshing secured to your board, because otherwise, if it's not and there's a gap under there, a bubble, it will run underneath the stencil. It's super easy to get this like this, and it's easy to fix it too. I've shown you before some of my mistakes that there's plenty of ways to take care of it. Okay, and if you get a little wrinkle like I did just there trying to straighten it out, it's no big deal. If it's close to a letter or a picture, it is a big deal. All right, so you just want to make sure where I placed it, that everything is still on the board. Okay, and then I'm just going to go back over it because of the size with my hand. Okay, so I am going to use Lakeshore Blue for the majority of the writing. I'm going to use eucalyptus for the body of the house, and I'm going to use Shimmer Frost for the roof of the house. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to get started with the house first just because it's a small area to do, and then I can flip the board around to get to the rest of the letters. All right, so here's my Shimmer Frost for the roof. Now, if you're new to watching me do this or following me, and if you are, please hit the like and subscribe button, follow button. If you're new to me on this, time is somewhat of the essence, but there are a few tricks I can share with you that if things get a little too dry before you're ready to lift it up, once you're, like right now I'm perfectly fine, but if it takes me a while to do all the rest of the stuff, there are some tricks and tips I can show you to do to make it a little bit easier. All right, so I'm going to do the green. And so I started out with 3 different squeegees. All right, did not realize I hadn't opened this yet. I was using my husband's job because I can never get a hold of it. Oh, husband? Mark, can you get this off? Sorry, hang on just 1 second. Give me the national. Give me the paper. Okay. All right. So when you get the metal stuff off, You can go ahead and scrape off what you can get. Mark had just stuck, scrape some of it off in the jar, so there's not as much as there usually is up here. Thank you. Okay, now I'm going to go back to the green. And you don't have to push super hard. You just want to make sure that you're covering every aspect of this mesh. And you can see that, if you get it on other green, it's not the green on the rim, but this other green, it's no big deal as long as you don't cross over into another part of the project that you are not doing that color. Okay, and then I tell you each time that I do a color, I go through again and I squeegee it off. That for me does two things. It makes sure that I didn't miss a spot of the mesh because I'm eyeballing as I go now, and it also makes sure that I'm not wasting my paste by leaving it on there. So that's what I'm going to be able to put back in. And now we're ready for the big part of it. So whenever I do a stencil that's this large, that I'm using, even sometimes smaller than this, that I'm using one main color for, then I will go ahead and take a popsicle stick, you could use your squeegee too, and just kind of start stamping it out, dropping some off, because you can scoop it up as you go, and then you're not having to return to your paste jar super often, which also slows down the timing of what you can do on such a large project before it starts to dry. All right, I'm also going to use a bigger squeegee. We're just going to work it in and around. Now, if you feel like it's getting too dry as you're working your way through, you can lift part of the stencil off so it's not touching so hard. I don't really like doing that because I've had instances where the excess paste that maybe I didn't get up or ink actually travels back into it and hits in another spot. So what I like to do is use just a damp, and I mean damp, I don't mean dripping, paper towel, and just put it on the surface itself and then let it be for just a minute or two maximum. And what's going to happen is it's going to re-wet the paste just enough to get it to where it'll let go of the mesh on your transfer and it'll stay on your surface. This might be one of those days. Weather has a lot to do with it too. Okay, I'm just going to grab a little bit more because I don't have any more up here. All right, just keep working along. And again, here's two spots I missed, which is why it's always a good thing to go back over it and make sure. Hey, babe, can you get me a damp paper towel, please? Yeah, just damp.
Just one half a sheet?
No, do a whole sheet for me. You can see how I'm just kind of rapidly moving around, scraping what I need from other parts to get it over here where I need it. And I know it looks like we're using a ton of paste, we're really not. Thank you. So I don't want you to panic about, oh, you're going too slow or you can't do it because you're going too slow. There's no such thing. There's just ways to rectify the issue. I'm just going to go back over one more time. Make sure that I've got everything covered. And in this case, I didn't have a whole lot of paste to bring back out. So, I don't know if you can see on the camera how a little bit more dry this area is. So, I am going to go ahead and put some moistened paper towel, again, not dripping, and just leave it there. And the way you'll be able to tell if it's ready to go ahead and try to lift it is if you see it starting to turn a little bit more of a brighter color than when you put it on. And you can see a little shininess where it got back to being a little bit more wet. And I did actually just see the spot that looks like it didn't take all of the paste up here. Also, if you pull this off and realize that you have missed a spot or two, I can show you how to fix that up with a toothpick. So don't be impatient as you're waiting for this to re-moisten. It will do it. Okay, I'm going to get this little section right here where I wasn't getting before. And I flipped it over so I'm not getting a bunch of extra paint on the other side. Okay, this looks pretty good. We can get right here. Okay, let's give it a whirl. All right. And you don't want to just jerk it off. You want to kind of go slow. Okay, I see a spot that I need to get a little bit more in, and that would be on the house. There's a spot that didn't actually fill in. I probably just wasn't generous enough with the paste. This is already going to be loosened from before. And you're going to see some gaps. Let me put this over here real quick. You're going to see some gaps in here that is mostly stencil oriented because they do give a little bit of places where there's little chunks not there. Part of it is also the wood I used that I chose to use, but it is supposed to look different for every single piece you make. That's what the whole purpose is. So this is what this turned out like. Now I will seal this, and then I will put a bow up in this corner by the W, just kind of triangulated. So like I said, there's lots of different welcome home or welcome or hello kind of things for that. So I will just put my link in the comments, and you can just go through the catalog and look and see what you see in there that you'd like. If you are new to me and you haven't followed, liked, subscribed, please do so. If you'd like to get these kind of things from me, I do one every day. I do one of my Chalk Couture ones, and then the next day I'll do some kind of a craft that you can do from the Dollar Tree or something for the kids for the summer. So every other day there's something you could just do without having to worry about any of this, but this is super, super fun and not expensive. Thanks for watching. See y'all next time.